Hey guys. So, I wanted to get on here because one thing that I feel like is not talked about a lot is like parenting. And why I feel like that is because, at least in my tribe, or the little bit of tribe I do have, I notice like to a certain degree, I'm more of an open book than a lot of the people in my life. And I don't know if it's because I can just look at things differently, if it's because, I can just, I don't know, I'm always growing. Not saying that the other people are not, but I give a fuck what people think about me, but only to a certain extent. And it's who's the people. So when I say certain things, it's interesting that they've experienced or they've gone through this phase with their kids, for certain things. And, I have to look at like, well, if we all have these similarities, okay, it's not just me, it's something we doing collectively. And then I think about like how our parents treated us, what we went through as, while we were children. And then I realized certain patterns, and I'm like, damn, some of this stuff, these results that we're getting, even though it looks a little differently, it's manifesting the same generational curses. And it's like, I gotta stop this shit. So like, for instance, with me, I used to get mad at my baby daddies when I was younger. I had kids young. I was like 19 or 2 months before I turned 19, and I gave birth to my first son. And then I was like 22 when I had my daughter, maybe going on 23. I gotta think about the shit. But long story short, I worked my ass off, y'all. I worked my ass off because I didn't live in the projects. I didn't live and receive like EBT, food stamps. Not saying that it's nothing against anybody that did, but I used to kind of like people would think that I lived this life, but to me, I guess it was like less than what I was used to when like my mom became a single mother. So to me, it was nothing amazing or anything about this life. To me, I felt like it was a downgrade. So with that being said, with me feeling like it's a downgrade, what typically happened was I guess had standards a lot early at a certain age because I felt like I was below standard. Like we fell off in a certain degree, but everybody else around me thought I just lived this glamorous life, and it was definitely better than other people's situations, but it wasn't good enough to me. So as I grew up, even as having a kid in early age, what do? We just know, we do what we know. What's our nature, And ideally, we revert to the ways that we grew up. Survival. Especially when you're not taught, so you mimic typically what you see. And I did that. I did that for a long time, and that consisted of like me going through all types of different experiences. And as I was going through these experiences, some of the things that I noticed was, no matter how hard I was trying to be a good parent, I still lacked in certain areas. And I would date certain people and be in these relationships, and they might point certain things out, and I guess it would trigger me because it was more so like, why the fuck would you say that? Like, how do you not see I love these kids? But it was things like, that they may have noticed that I wasn't noticing. And maybe I was upset at the time because maybe it was some truth to that and I didn't realize it. But now that I'm thinking about it and I know what I know, I'm thinking that's probably why it was a trigger. And years over time, you know, I came to the conclusion like, dang, like there was some truth to that. And the truth was like, whether you intend to or not, it is hard to balance playing two roles. You know, working multiple jobs, being a single mom, having no help, living in a city without any support, that's hard. It's like, listen, we gonna figure this shit out or we gonna be motherfucking living and dodging fucking bullets. And I wasn't trying to live that fucking life. And that's not no shade to people who do. But it's the consequences that I took for trying to provide a better future. And that shit was what felt like a fucking struggle a lot of times. And it was very frustrating. A lot of masculine energy coming out of me, because when you're grinding like that and then shit not going your way and you really can't get mad because you think about it, you're getting upset about certain things that are happening, but you're teaching your kids and they're doing certain things subconsciously because we mimic behavior after a while, and you're getting mad and expecting them to know certain shit. But how can we get mad if we don't technically take the time out to remember to teach them? We just expect them to know. Like, we all think different. So I ended up manifesting me a life where I was able to be able to spend more time with these kids, get to really know my babies. It's like I always knew them, but I can't say that I necessarily always understood them. And that's just more so because of lack of time and effort. Shit, if you tired, you tired. You know what I mean? Like, working fucking multiple thousands of fucking hours a day, it feels like come home, still gotta clean, cook, and you don't have no time for yourself. You at this point just want to go to sleep. I mean, it's fucked up, but it's the reality of some people's lives. And when I got to a point where I didn't have to work that hard and I was able to make a certain income where I didn't have to work that hard, shoot, I found a way. I chose my kids. Because when I realized, like, damn, I really like being like a soccer mom. I like being able to have a chance to like go root them on and watch them be great and pour into them. I love that shit. I love that shit. Like, I love that shit. I love being my kids' biggest cheerleader. I love pouring the confidence that I have in them into them so they can fucking believe that shit. I love watching them blossom. I love that shit. I at first didn't understand or know or even realize, like, how do I really do this, because my parents didn't give it to me. So I had to kind of learn that shit. I had to make myself uncomfortable to be comfortable to desire that shit. But again, I was saying, I'm able to live a life now where I'm able to be available and to just be there. And things are, I don't want to say easy. Shit ain't never going to be easy, because, I mean, ideally, in a situation such as mine, for instance, like where I went from not realizing I wasn't being emotionally unavailable. I wasn't realizing I was being emotionally unavailable because I wasn't trying to do it on purpose, but that's what it was. And when I realized it, you know, I was able to fix it. I want to fix it. It ain't my intentions. A lot of times it don't be our intentions. And I would say, like, once upon a time, I probably was just like in a victim mindset for a lot of things without me realizing that's what I was in. Damn, Coco, leave my camera alone. My dog tripping. But, I mean, if you knew better, you do better, right? But I try to be emotionally available to my kids, because I feel like, yeah, we want to leave like a legacy for our kids. We want to, like, you know, try to definitely give them a better life than we have. We strive for that, but I think sometimes we forget some of the most important things. Like, I think the most important job for you as a parent is to teach your babies really how to think. I don't think we took enough time out to really teach them how to think. My parents surely didn't. I came from a generation where it's what your parents say, and you better not ask or that's talking back. I think in our generation, I'm 34, I think we allow our kids to express themselves, which might look like, oh, they're getting smart, and they need to talk. You know, we talk more. A lot of us speak our truth more. People had to shut the hell up. My throat chakra used to be so enclosed. When I used to try to speak my truth, it used to feel like a golf ball was stuck in my throat. I just, when you learn certain things and you educate yourself and you understand how things actually work, personally speaking for myself, it was like, oh, hell no, I'm not about to keep self-destructing myself. I'm going to fix this shit. And the biggest thing I want to do is make sure that my babies are good. It's more than just finances. And when I realized, like, shit, you know, you don't have to live off of survival mode no more. Like, live more purposeful. When I chose that route, it was like I felt peace. I got tired of working that hard. Don't get me wrong, I miss the faster money. Now it's kind of like, damn, I gotta slowly build a different type of way. And it's tough because I'm used to but it's just more important things to me. And it's like, what am I gonna choose? The bag all the time? I mean, yeah, I'm gonna make the bag regardless, and it's definitely gonna make sense, but shit, I gotta fucking wrap my arms around these babies. I'm always complimented on how well behaved my kids are, even though they drive me fucking crazy. But I think that's everybody's kids, right? And it's funny because I'm like, people don't know, like, I used to be fucking mean. I used to be like real mean because I came from an era where, like, it was basically just everything was fucking punishment. And I found myself doing that I was a parent young, so I found myself doing that a lot. And it, like, shaped them up. But I'm like, this shit is like military. Like, I don't want my kids to fear me. Like, that's not the point. That's not what I'm trying to, like, instill. I need my babies to tell me what the hell is going on so I can help them. You know what I mean? And most importantly, I feel like talking to them, I don't want this ant to get me, is very important because, again, you got to teach them how to think. Like, ultimately, I don't think people want to do messed up stuff. You know what I mean? And like I was saying, me coming from an era where you couldn't ask questions. It was just because I said so. That leads you to just being curious. You know what I mean? Figuring things out. Having a harder head. People weren't telling you nothing. I'm pretty sure if people be like, oh, not just don't touch the stove, but don't touch the stove because fire comes out of it. It gets hot. If you touch it, you can burn yourself. If you burn yourself, it could look like this. It could feel like this. These are long-term results of this. We're not having enough teachable moments. It's just frustration, anger. Because I said so, it's easy, like, to control for your peace, right? To make it easy on you. But, like, then that doesn't make somebody else happy. I mean, our kids are not supposed to be controlled. We're not supposed to control. They have minds of their own. They're going to have their own experiences. We got to learn how to understand them. Like, that shit is important. It's important. They really, truly, like, if you think about it, for the most part, anybody that I know, like, despite their journey, like, you still love your parents. Despite the effed up stuff that you've gone through, it's hard to, like, I mean, over time, somebody might create some type of anger, resentment, whatever their experience is. And I'm not saying nobody doesn't have a right to feel how they feel, but, like, ultimately, no matter how much hurt it is, you love your parents. Kids especially have so much hope in their parents. And me, I'm the type of parent where it's like, yeah, I made these choices with certain baby daddies, you know, from being a kid and, you know, trying to get a fulfillment that clearly I wasn't getting at home. And these are the consequences. And I don't even want to call them consequences. I'm going to say lessons, because it's not going to stop the shine over here. Like, I'm going to do what I got to do as a parent to make sure that mine are good. Whatever you do at this point is extra. You want to be a part, good. You don't? Okay, cool. Now, if you're going to be apart, you're going to act a certain type of way. You're not about to be out here hurting these motherfucking kids. We don't need you that bad. Mom is always going to come through. God always sees through for me. I feel like because of my heart. So my thing is just like, I feel like my kids, like, God, it sounds fucked up, but like God knew to give me kids. I was talking about this with my sister earlier. We were saying like, because the way that people are out here, the way that people play their hands, my kids be saving grace for a lot of people. I've not clocked out, and I'm not proud of saying that, but just in my past life, quite a few times I haven't acted a certain type of way on the strength because of these kids. And I'm glad that I've grown into not being easily moved, obtaining emotional intelligence, and kind of learning more so and understanding emotions, and, you know, learning to stop taking things so personal, healing from trauma. It's helpful. And I think one of the most important things to remember is like how trauma can go through generations. If trauma can go through generations, so can healing. So I encourage you, whoever sees this video, to take the time out and work on you. It's okay. It's okay if you didn't get it. It's always an opportunity to fix it. I think we ultimately all want to do better. So if you want change, you got to be the change, and you got to be willing to work on you. The work, it's not for the weak. It's some hard work, especially when you realize you're doing shit that you've been trying your whole life to avoid doing, and you were subconsciously doing it from the results that you're getting. I mean, that's tough to realize, but if your babies are as important to you as mine are to me, they're worth doing the work. And sometimes that consists, of course, of you getting uncomfortable because you're getting different results you ain't never got before. The manifestation lays out where you're uncomfortable. That's where you reach that. You're not going to get nothing you never had being comfortable. And that's just real talk. But I haven't made a live in a couple of weeks, and I'm slacking. So I just wanted to get on here for a minute and talk to you guys. I will talk to y'all later. Comment below and let me know how y'all think. What's your thoughts? Your journeys. I want to hear it. Let's have a conversation. I'll talk to y'all later.